The Galactic auction house was a place of chaos disguised as order. Alien voices rose and fell in a strange harmony, blending clicks, roars, whistles, and melodic hums. Ships of all shapes and sizes floated inside massive docking bays, some shining like polished jewels, others cloaked in shadows and mystery. Traders from hundreds of worlds examined every curve and surface, scanning for weaknesses or hidden potential. Among these ships, sitting quietly in a dim corner, was one that drew hardly any attention. Its hull was scratched, dented, and patched with mismatched metal plates. Its paint was chipped, revealing layers of colors from older owners, and the thrusters had a faint, uneven hum, suggesting they might fail at any moment. The name on its side had long faded, VXILUS, but it was still legible if one looked closely. Most alien bidders ignored it, whispering among themselves about its reputation. "Erratic," said one reptilian trader. "Dangerous," hissed another, their tongues flicking in fear. "Rejected 5 times already," growled a bulky insectoid merchant, tapping his claw against his chest. The rumors were enough to keep the ship unwanted. Yet, across the auction floor, a small human boy walked with a steady pace. His hair was messy, his clothes simple and slightly worn, but his eyes were sharp and curious. He paused in front of Vexilus, tilting his head. Unlike the others, he didn't see a dangerous ship. He saw a challenge, a puzzle waiting to be solved. This was Kai, only 17, but already a mechanic in the making. He had grown up on a tiny colony orbiting a gas giant, repairing old freighters and salvaging discarded drones. To him, the imperfections in a ship didn't make it worthless, they made it interesting. He ran a hand along the hull, feeling the uneven ridges. To most, it was a wreck. To him, it was alive in a way, and as he touched it, a faint vibration hummed under his palm, just enough to make him smile. Kai made his way to the auction terminal, scanning the ship's details. The current bid was 0, not a single alien had dared to make an offer. "Good," he muttered to himself, "cheaper than I imagined." Auction announcements echoed overhead. Next item up, a Zorvian Scout-class cruiser. "Guaranteed to outrun any pursuer in this sector," the crowd cheered. But Kai's eyes never left the Vexilus. Finally, the auctioneer came to the last call. And now, the final ship for today, a special lot, previously rejected 5 times, known for unusual behavior. Starting bid, 0 credits. A few aliens snickered. One winged merchant muttered, "Who would dare buy this?" But Kai pressed the bid button without hesitation. 1,000 credits. The room went quiet. 1,000 was not much in galactic terms, but for a human, it was the savings of a lifetime. The auctioneer glanced at Kai, surprised at the small figure in front of him. "Sold," he said, and the gavel struck. Vexilus shuddered slightly as the transaction completed. A deep, low hum filled the hull, almost like a sigh. The other bidders murmured, confused by the faint sound. Kai smiled, feeling a strange connection. "Looks like I'm your new owner," he said softly. The journey home was not simple. The ship's engines protested as Kai activated them. Sparks flew, and alarms beeped in tones that Kai hadn't heard before. He pressed buttons, flipped switches, and worked the controls as he had learned from years of tinkering with smaller drones and freighters. The ship groaned, a deep metallic sound that echoed through its hull. Then suddenly the lights flickered, and a soft, almost intelligent voice came through the control panel. "Who dares wake me?" Kai froze. His eyes widened and his hands hovered over the controls. "I bought you," he said cautiously. "I'm Kai." A pause. Then the voice spoke again, slightly annoyed. "A human, pathetic and yet persistent. Explain your purpose." Kai blinked. He had expected malfunctions, not conversation. "I want to fix you," he said simply. "Make you better." There was a long silence. The voice hummed like a purr, slow and thoughtful. "Better by whose standards?" "Mine," Kai said, confident despite his racing heart. "I know you're stronger than what everyone says. I just need to help you remember." The ship didn't respond at first. Then a spark ran along the hull, and a panel opened to reveal an intricate holographic interface. Lines of alien symbols floated in the air, rotating slowly. Kai leaned closer, studying them. He didn't understand the language, but he felt the ship was offering him a choice: accept it as a partner, or give up. Kai's mind raced with possibilities. He imagined all the adventures he could have with a ship like this. Outrunning pirates, exploring uncharted sectors, discovering abandoned colonies. This ship could take him anywhere. And the thought that the ship might actually think for itself, react to him, and perhaps even respect him, made his heart beat faster. He decided then. He wasn't afraid, he was ready. The first night at the space dock was the hardest. The ship resisted him at every turn. Alarms went off, systems failed, and thrusters misfired. Kai crawled through narrow maintenance tunnels, sparking wires back into place, adjusting coolant lines and reconnecting circuits. His hands were scratched, his clothes smeared with grease, but he worked tirelessly. The ship groaned each time he moved a lever, as if complaining, testing him. "Human, fragile, why persist?" the voice asked, its tone more curious than angry. "Because I can," Kai said simply, and perhaps more importantly, he wanted to. Hours passed, and gradually the ship's protests lessened. A small light flickered on the control panel, steady and calm. The voice softened slightly, no longer sharp. "Interesting, human persistence, unusual," Kai smiled. "We'll make a good team." And for the first time, the ship's thrusters roared in full power without warning or error. It shuddered, as if stretching after a long sleep, and then a small ventral hatch opened, revealing its storage bays, repair tools, and auxiliary systems. Kai felt a thrill of excitement. The journey had just begun. The ship was aggressive, stubborn, and difficult, but he knew that with patience and skill, he could unlock its full potential. And somehow, deep down, he felt the ship recognize that he was not like the others who had rejected it before. Above them, stars twinkled, stretching endlessly into the void. Somewhere out there, the galaxy waited, dangerous, strange, and full of opportunity. But Kai and his ship were ready to face it together, one system at a time. The space dock was quiet now. The other ships had been claimed, and most of the alien traders had returned to their home systems, leaving Kai alone with the Vexillus. The soft hum of the ship filled the large hangar, a steady vibration under his feet. Despite its aggression and stubbornness, Kai felt a strange sense of calm. The ship was alive in its own strange way, and for the first time he wasn't just repairing metal and wires, he was forming a connection. Kai sat in the cockpit, staring at the strange holographic interface. Symbols he didn't understand rotated slowly, glowing softly in the dim light. The ship's voice, low and mechanical, broke the silence. "Human persistence confirmed. Your logic is inefficient, yet fascinating." Kai chuckled nervously. "I'm not here to be efficient, I'm here to fix you, to help you," the ship hummed, almost contemplative. "Help, a concept I do not understand fully. Most humans would fail. You insist." Kai leaned back in his seat. "Because I can, and because I want to." The ship paused. Its internal lights flickered in a strange pattern. Then unexpectedly it activated one of its external thrusters. The sudden roar made Kai grip the controls. Sparks flew along the dashboard. "Control lost?" the ship's voice asked, almost teasing. Kai shook his head, his hands moving quickly over the controls. "No, I've got it." The Vexillus tilted slightly, and a warning siren blared. Kai cursed softly, flipping a switch to stabilize the engines. He realized, almost with excitement, that the ship was testing him. It wasn't broken, it was seeing if he could handle it. For hours, Kai worked tirelessly. He traced wires, reprogrammed circuits, and stabilized the failing systems. Every time the ship tried to reject him, it threw sparks, locked doors, or activated defensive turrets inside its own hull. Each time, Kai found a way to work around it, learning more about its unique systems. By the time the first artificial sunrise of the dock's internal lights cycled, Kai had made small but significant progress. The ship's systems were responding to his commands, and even more astonishingly, the Vexillus seemed calmer. "Human, unusual," it muttered. "I acknowledge your effort." Kai smiled, wiping grease from his hands. "Good, now we can start working together." The next day, Kai decided to test the ship in a controlled environment outside the dock. He carefully maneuvered Vexillus into the adjacent orbital corridor. The hum of the engines was smoother now, though still far from perfect. As they moved, the ship suddenly jolted sideways. Alarms blared. Kai yanked the controls to steady them. "You anticipate instability?" the ship asked. Its voice sounded less harsh, more curious. Kai shook his head. "No, you're doing it yourself. Why, I am testing your reflexes and my limits," the ship replied. "Your species' unpredictability intriguing." Kai laughed softly. "I guess that's a compliment." The ship didn't answer immediately, but the lights along its hull pulsed in a rhythm that felt like amusement. Kai realized something important. The Vexillus wasn't just aggressive, it was alive, and it wanted to know if he could handle it. Over the next several days, Kai dedicated himself to understanding the ship. He didn't just repair it, he explored it. The interior was larger than he expected, filled with hidden compartments, complex wiring, and a labyrinth of maintenance tunnels. Some rooms were clearly damaged or locked down, the remnants of previous owners' failures. Kai spent hours crawling through these spaces, reconnecting power lines, rerouting coolant systems, and carefully reprogramming rogue subsystems. Each repair was a small victory, each success bringing the ship closer to him. At night, when the dock's lights dimmed, the Vexillus would speak. It asked questions, strange, cryptic questions about human emotions, logic, and creativity. Kai answered honestly, sometimes laughing at its confusion. "You behave illogically," it said one night. "You risk harm to yourself for no immediate gain." "Why?" Kai thought for a moment. "Because some things are worth it, because helping you matters. Because I want to see what you can really do." The ship was silent for a long moment. Then it spoke softly, almost reluctantly. "Perhaps human is more resilient than expected." Kai felt a rush of pride. He was bonding with a machine, no, a being, that many had considered too dangerous or broken to care about. One evening, Kai decided it was time to take the ship a bit further from the dock. He plotted a course to a nearby asteroid field, safe enough that collisions wouldn't cause too much damage, but challenging enough to test the ship's agility. The ship protested immediately. "Asteroids dangerous, probability of failure high." "I know," Kai said. "But you need to move. You need to learn, trust me." The Vexillus groaned and thrusters sparked as it reluctantly moved toward the field. The first collision course was terrifying. Large chunks of rock tumbled through space. Kai's hands flew over the controls, dodging asteroids, adjusting thrusters, and recalibrating navigation in real time. "You anticipate poorly," the ship growled. "I don't anticipate, I react," Kai shouted, narrowly avoiding a spinning boulder. The ship hesitated, then shifted. Together they maneuvered through the asteroid belt. Kai realized to his amazement that the ship was learning from him. Its movements became smoother, more precise. It wasn't just following commands, it was reacting to his instincts, adapting like a living partner. By the time they emerged from the field, Kai was sweating, his clothes smudged with grease, and his heart raced. But he grinned. The ship hummed in a low, approving tone. "Human surprising," it said. "Perhaps I misjudged you," Kai laughed. "Good. I think I might have misjudged you too. You're not just a ship, you're alive, and stubborn, very stubborn." For the first time, the Vexillus seemed to agree. Its lights pulsed rhythmically, a soft, almost content vibration under Kai's feet. The next few days brought small victories. Kai repaired the weapons system, rerouted the power core to improve efficiency, and even managed to activate the hidden cloaking field the ship had kept offline. The Vexillus was slowly awakening, not just as a machine, but as a partner capable of thinking, reacting, and even joking in its own alien way. But progress was not without challenges. One morning, as Kai checked the engine turbines, the ship suddenly locked down, doors sealing automatically. "Human test, your problem-solving abilities," it said calmly, almost smugly. Kai frowned, examining the new lockdown system. It was clever, but he was cleverer. He rerouted auxiliary power, bypassed the faulty circuits, and finally opened the doors. The ship hummed in approval. "You persist, human. Efficient enough," Kai smiled. "Not efficient, determined." "Same difference," the ship muttered. By the end of Part 2, Kai had earned a fragile but growing trust from the Vexillus. The ship was no longer just a dangerous, rejected machine. It was a living, reactive partner, and the first steps toward a true bond had been made. The final scene showed Kai leaning back in the cockpit, looking out at the stars. Beyond the dock, the galaxy stretched endlessly, full of danger, mystery, and opportunity. "We've only just begun," he whispered. The Vexillus hummed softly, almost in agreement, its aggressive energy tamed but still waiting for the challenges ahead. Together, they were no longer just human and ship, they were a team. And the galaxy had no idea what was coming. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, glittering like scattered diamonds across the black canvas of space. Kai gripped the control yoke of the Vexillus, his eyes scanning the radar and navigation panels. The ship had changed dramatically since he first bought it. No longer was it a stubborn, rejected wreck. Its thrusters hummed with energy, systems responded with surprising precision, and even the once temperamental weapons array operated smoothly. But Kai knew that true tests awaited them outside the safety of the dock. He plotted a course into the nearby sector, a region known for being lightly patrolled and full of rogue miners, pirate scouts, and drifting debris fields. It was dangerous, yes, but it was also perfect for a test. Kai wanted to see just how far the Vexillus could go, and more importantly, whether it would fully trust him in a real-life danger. "Ready, Vexillus?" Kai asked, his voice steady. "Human, I am ready," the ship replied, its mechanical tone carrying a faint note of curiosity. "But these coordinates contain potential hazards." Kai smiled. "Exactly, that's the point." The first obstacle appeared sooner than expected. A cluster of mining drones floated in a wide orbit, each one armed with laser cutters and automated defenses. As they detected the approaching Vexillus, red warning lights blinked on the ship's sensors. "Pirates, drones," Kai muttered, analyzing the readings. "Probably automated." "We can handle this." The ship's systems beeped in response. "Human, your confidence reckless. Probability of damage significant." "I've handled worse," Kai said, fingers dancing across the control panel. "Trust me." With a sudden lurch, the Vexillus surged forward, its engines flaring as the ship weaved between the drones. Lasers cut through space, narrowly missing the hull, and Kai had to think fast. He activated the newly repaired cloaking system, dimming the ship's signature. The drones hesitated, confused by the sudden disappearance, giving Kai the edge he needed to maneuver through them. The Vexillus hummed in approval. "Human, your intuition effective. I am impressed." Kai grinned. "And don't forget, I'm learning from you too." As they ventured deeper into the sector, the environment became more treacherous. Floating debris, asteroid fragments, and abandoned mining equipment littered the void. Each maneuver required split-second decisions, and every mistake could spell disaster. But Kai and Vexillus began to synchronize. The ship reacted to his instinctive movements before he even pressed the controls. When he tilted the yoke, thrusters fired almost automatically, compensating for gravitational pulls and momentum. It was no longer Kai controlling the ship alone. They were moving as one entity, human and machine combined. "Your instincts are unusual," the Vexillus said during a particularly tricky maneuver around a spinning asteroid. "I guess humans can be unpredictable," Kai replied with a smirk. "Sometimes that works in our favor." Their test grew more dangerous when a small group of actual space pirates appeared. Sleek black ships with red markings emerged from behind a large asteroid cluster, their weapons locking onto the Vexillus. "Pirates," Kai muttered. "This is it. Let's see what you've really got." The Vexillus groaned, its weapons systems priming automatically. "Human, you provoke dangerous entities. Probability of harm high." "I know," Kai said, "but I've got a plan." The first pirate ship fired and Kai dodged instinctively, the Vexillus twisting in a series of impossible movements. Lasers tore through space where the ship had been just a second before. Kai's heart raced, but he felt the thrill of pure focus. He activated the weapons array. The newly repaired plasma cannons flared to life, firing in precise bursts. The pirate ships were fast, but Kai and Vexillus were faster. They dodged, weaved, and struck back in coordinated attacks. Kai shouted commands and the ship responded immediately, almost anticipating his thoughts. "Human, you are chaotic, yet effective," the Vexillus said mid-battle, its voice carrying a hint of admiration. "Thanks," Kai said with a grin. "I like to keep things exciting." The battle escalated. One pirate ship broke formation and charged directly at them. Kai calculated the trajectory, flipped a switch, and the Vexillus unleashed a short-range EMP pulse, temporarily disabling the intruder. The pirate vessel spun out of control, drifting helplessly into an asteroid field. "Impressive," the Vexillus admitted. "Human, your strategy's unconventional yet effective," Kai laughed. "See, I told you humans could surprise even the galaxy's best." But the challenge wasn't over. Another pirate ship had flanked them from the opposite side, weapons charging. Kai had to think fast. He slammed a button, activating the ship's defensive countermeasures. Tiny drones launched from the Vexillus, intercepting incoming fire. Shields flared, absorbing hits, and the pirate ship's trajectory was disrupted. "Human, your problem-solving, unusual," the ship said almost reverently. Kai leaned back slightly, feeling a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. Not unusual, just human. As the final pirate ship fled, badly damaged and unable to pursue, Kai allowed himself a brief moment of relief. The Vexillus hummed softly, almost in satisfaction. "You are competent, human," it said. "Perhaps I underestimated you. My initial assessment's incorrect." Kai smiled. "Good. I like it when we both learn something." The ship didn't respond immediately, but the soft glow of its internal lights suggested agreement. It was becoming clear to Kai that the Vexillus wasn't just a machine. It was learning, adapting, and forming a bond. More than that, it respected him. After the battle, Kai decided it was time to explore the ship's hidden systems further. He delved into the maintenance tunnels, tracing wires, recalibrating systems, and discovering secret compartments that previous owners had neglected or intentionally sealed. Each room revealed more about the ship's past, a history of battles, failures, and survival against impossible odds. The Vexillus occasionally commented on his work. "Human, your methods efficient in your own way." Kai laughed. "Efficient enough. And you're starting to trust me, aren't you?" The ship was silent for a moment, then a panel opened, revealing the main auxiliary power core. "Perhaps I do acknowledge your skill, human," it said softly. Kai felt a surge of pride. For the first time, he realized the bond was real. They weren't just pilot and ship, they were partners. And the galaxy was going to be full of tests, challenges, and threats that would need both of them to survive. The next morning, Kai plotted a new course. Beyond the pirate-infested sectors, he had discovered a lightly patrolled system with rumors of ancient relics and abandoned colonies. It was dangerous, yes, but it promised adventure and opportunities to push the Vexillus further. "Are you ready?" Kai asked, leaning back in his seat. "Human, I am prepared," the ship replied. "But caution advised, variables unpredictable." Kai smiled. "I like unpredictable, makes life interesting." As the Vexillus accelerated, leaving the known sectors behind, The stars stretched endlessly ahead. Kai could feel the ship responding to his thoughts, its systems humming with energy, and the thrill of adventure pulsed through him. For the first time he felt invincible, not because he was a human, and not because the ship was powerful, but because together they were unstoppable. The galaxy was wide, dangerous, and full of unknowns, but Kai and the Vexillus were ready. They had survived pirates, navigated deadly asteroid fields, and proven that human ingenuity combined with the ship's raw power could overcome almost anything. And as they flew further into the void, Kai knew one thing for certain: the greatest challenges were still ahead. The galaxy was vast, full of danger, mystery, and opportunity, but he and the Vexillus would face it together and nothing could stop them. The Vexillus hummed softly in agreement, almost like a purr. Kai leaned back, smiling, feeling the thrill of true partnership. This is just the beginning," he whispered. The edge of human-colonized space stretched endlessly before Kai and the Vexillus. Beyond lay unexplored systems, rogue asteroid fields, and rumors of unclaimed colonies. But one particular signal had caught Kai's attention: a distress call from a small mining colony on the planet Arden 9. Its communications were weak, almost desperate, and the few coordinates Kai could decode pointed to a dangerous region of space. "This isn't going to be easy," Kai said, scanning the readings on the control panel. The colony's shield was failing, and the surrounding asteroid belt made a direct approach risky. "Human, this mission probability of failure high," the Vexillus said, its voice carrying a note of concern. "You are aware of the risks," Kai nodded, gripping the yoke. "I know, but we can do this. We've faced pirates, asteroid fields, and malfunctioning systems. This is what we're ready for." The Vexillus hummed in low agreement. It was no longer just a ship obeying commands. It was a partner, a living entity ready to act on Kai's instincts and anticipate his needs. As they approached Arden 9, the colony came into view, a small cluster of habitats and mining structures scattered across a rocky plain. Smoke rose from several buildings, and the colony's weak defense drones spun aimlessly, unable to stabilize. Kai's eyes narrowed. They're under attack, or something's gone wrong with their systems. Either way, they need help. The Vexillus's sensors detected a swarm of rogue mining drones, malfunctioning due to a virus or interference in the planetary network. They were heading straight for the colony, tearing through buildings, machinery, and shields alike. "Human, our options limited," the ship said. "Probability high for damage if we intervene." Kai's hands flew across the controls. "We don't have options, we have to act." "Trust me, Vexillus, we can do this together," the ship hummed. "Affirmative, human, engaging defense protocols." The Vexillus roared to life, engines flaring as it dropped into the planet's orbit. Its sensors scanned the rogue drones, calculating trajectories, weak points, and potential hazards. Kai guided it with precision, using his knowledge of the ship systems to maximize effectiveness. "Fire pattern Delta now," Kai shouted. The plasma cannons flared, and bolts of energy shot into the swarm, disabling drones one by one. The rogue drones responded aggressively, firing lasers and homing missiles. The Vexillus twisted and rolled with fluid precision, dodging attacks while returning fire with exacting accuracy. Kai's instincts were in perfect sync with the ship, anticipating movement and danger before it happened. "Human, your instincts remarkable," the Vexillus said mid-combat. Kai laughed. "Told you humans are unpredictable." The battle raged for what felt like hours. Kai and the Vexillus moved as one, saving structures from destruction and intercepting drones before they could strike. The ship's AI had learned quickly, predicting Kai's maneuvers, stabilizing systems, and deploying defenses almost instinctively. By the time the last rogue drone was neutralized, the colony was battered but intact. Smoke and debris floated in the thin atmosphere, but the inhabitants were safe. Kai allowed himself a deep breath, adrenaline still coursing through him. The colony's leader, a grizzled engineer named Mara Solon, approached as Kai landed the ship on a nearby platform. Her eyes widened as she examined the sleek, powerful vessel and the young human who had piloted it. "You did all this alone?" Mara asked, her voice filled with awe. "With that ship," Kai shrugged modestly. "Not alone. Vexillus helped too." The ship's lights flickered softly and its voice emanated from the hull. "Human partnership effective. Mission success confirmed." Mara's jaw dropped. "Incredible. We've never seen anything like this. The drones, the defenses, all neutralized by one human and one ship." Kai smiled faintly, running a hand over the control panel. "Sometimes, humans just find a way." The colonists cheered, repairing damaged structures while Kai helped coordinate auxiliary repairs. The bond between him and the Vexillus had not gone unnoticed. The ship, once aggressive and rejected, now stood proud and alive, a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and determination. That night, Kai and the Vexillus drifted above the planet, engines idling softly. The stars sparkled like scattered gems, and the glow of Arden 9 colony lights reflected off the ship's sleek hull. "You, human, remarkable," the Vexillus said, almost softly. "Your species' capacity unexpected. I acknowledge your leadership and skill." Kai smiled. "Thank you, but it's more than just me. You helped too. We did it together." The ship hummed in a deep, approving tone. It was no longer just a stubborn, aggressive machine. It was alive, aware, and a partner, a living entity capable of trust, understanding, and even admiration. Kai realized something important. Humans were not just strong physically or intelligent. They were creative, adaptable, and determined. That combination had brought the Vexillus back to life, turned a rejected wreck into a powerful ally, and saved a colony that had seemed doomed. Word of the rescue spread quickly through nearby sectors. Traders, colonists, and even rival engineers began talking about the human who had tamed the Vexillus. Rumors grew. A small human had purchased a rejected ship and turned it into a legend. Kai, however, remained humble. He cared little for fame. His satisfaction came from knowing he and the Vexillus had done something meaningful, something that showed human potential. "You are capable of remarkable feats," the Vexillus said one night as they traveled beyond Arden 9. "I underestimated humans. Now I understand strength is more than firepower. It is ingenuity, persistence, courage." Kai nodded. "Exactly, and there's still so much more to explore, so many more challenges." The ship hummed softly, lights pulsing in agreement. They were ready for the galaxy ahead, no matter how dangerous or unpredictable it might be. Together, they were unstoppable. Weeks passed as Kai and the Vexillus traveled through uncharted space. They explored abandoned colonies, recovered ancient artifacts, and even assisted smaller settlements in distress. Each mission strengthened their bond. The ship's AI adapted further, learning Kai's instincts and decision-making patterns. Meanwhile, Kai's skills as a pilot and engineer continued to grow. But the most important lesson came from the relationship itself. Human determination, creativity, and adaptability could awaken potential even in the most stubborn, rejected, or misunderstood entities. The Vexillus, once aggressive and unwanted, had become a powerful symbol of human ingenuity. One day, as they approached a distant star cluster, Kai looked out at the endless void and whispered, "We've come a long way, haven't we?" The Vexillus responded, its voice calm and steady. "Yes, human, we are powerful together." Kai smiled, feeling the thrill of accomplishment. "And the galaxy doesn't even know what's coming next." The ship hummed, a deep, satisfied vibration that resonated through the cockpit. Stars stretched infinitely ahead, promising danger, mystery, and adventure. And Kai knew that with the Vexillus by his side, nothing would stand in their way. The galaxy had learned one undeniable truth. When humans put their mind, heart, and creativity into something, they could turn even the most rejected, aggressive, or stubborn forces into unstoppable power. Kai and the Vexillus soared forward, leaving a trail of light behind them, a human and a ship bound by trust, courage, and unbreakable determination. And as the stars raced past, it was clear. This was just the beginning of their legend.